Hey guys, we are in day 157 and our Bible reading plans 2 Samuel 13 through 15 and Proverbs 3, the second half, 11 through the end of the chapter. And hard reading today. Oh my goodness, David goes down, his family, it's just tough to read. The big idea is that when the choices we make lead to consequences too heavy to carry, the safest place of refuge is in the Lord. Let's make our way there. But the Lord predicted to David in chapter 12 of 2 Samuel from yesterday's reading. He told him, he says, "Behold, I will raise up evil against you," in verse 11, "out of your own house. Now take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in the sight of the sun. And you did this secretly. I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun." And you start reading the story of Amnon and Tamar, and it's the kids of David, and it's awful. It's really, the Bible, it does not shy away from difficult topics. I don't know why we think we should shy away from taboo topics, because God hits it head on. It's a sin, it's bad, it goes from bad to worse. He sleeps with his sister, then he throws her out. Poor Tamar, she's a victim, and David does nothing. And King David should have, but maybe it was his guilt that made him feel like he didn't have the moral authority to say anything, because everyone in Israel knew what he had done. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But Absalom takes it in his own hands to do something. And of course, because it was the just thing, David lets him get away with it. But Absalom leaves because the other brothers are going to try to come after him, is the long and short of it. And so David doesn't act on that. But basically, eventually, Absalom comes back, and he was there first he left for 3 years, but at the end of chapter 13, verse 39, the spirit of the king longed to go out to Absalom because he was comforted about Amnon since he was dead. So I think David approved of what Absalom did. And there is a sense of justice in it, isn't there? So Absalom comes back, but the mistake of David, he doesn't reach out to him. He just lets him be. So he brings him back, but he might as well not. And parents aren't perfect, and and I can understand what's going on. So Joab is like the middleman, and Absalom tries to get the attention of David through Joab, and he burns his field and for 2 years Absalom lived without coming into the king's presence. 2 years of brewing anger and bitterness and resentment, and so eventually there's a little moment of peace at the end of chapter 14 where David and Absalom connect, but not really deeply, but it's peaceful. And then chapter 15, Absalom starts to get the people to follow him. And now there's an uprising, and it's awful. And so David leaves. And I love the second half of 2 Samuel 15, because as messed up as Absalom is, David is godly. He loves the Lord. In fact, when Ittai he wants to come with him. Ittai is a servant who recognizes that the Lord is with David. And David, he's like, look, in verse 25 of chapter 15, he says, "Carry the ark of God back into the city. If I find favor in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring me back and let me see both it and his dwelling place. But if he says, I have no pleasure in him, behold, here I am. Let him do to me what seems good to him." And that is the safest place to live. Let God do to me as he sees fit. So David went up there. In verse 30, he ascended to the Mount of Olives, weeping as he went. In verse 32, he came to the summit where God was worshipped. And so if you're in a place of pain, you've messed up, you deserve it, go to the Lord. He will always accept you and do what's right in your life. Love you guys. Talk to you later.